Hey everyone, good morning and welcome to Morning Tea with me, Tracy V. Allen, host of Morning Tea, where we hope to motivate, inspire, and educate someone this morning so that they can go forth and have a very productive day. So today with me, I have with me Dr. Jackie Phillips. She's no stranger to the show. She's been here before, but we're back to talk about some very poignant issues that are going on in our society and how it relates back to a program that she's having this summer for girls. It's called the Dream Big Girls Academy Summer Program. And we're going to tie everything that's going on into this one talk today because it'll be irresponsible for us to get on here and not address the issues that are going on in our society today. So, Dr. Jackie, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Thank you, Tracy, for having me on your show again. I'm one of your biggest supporters. I mean, it's always an honor to be here. A little bit about me is that I am the CEO of Life Changers Consulting, and a company that really empowers individuals, one, to heal, activate their voices, to create impact in our community. So really understanding the power of their story, the power of their transformation. And as they understand the power of their story, no matter they can change the narrative in designing their future.
Awesome. So, we're talking about what's going on in society. So I know that behind the scenes, we just had a conversation where you said that you're going out to march today. So one of the things that you do is a lot of community-based activism, whether it's in a passive sense or an active sense, like going out to a rally and marching. So tell us a little bit about, why this is important to you and how it ties in to the program that you are creating, the center that you're creating in the heart of the North Side on Albany Avenue.
Yes. The key to my mission is to really empower individuals to activate their voices. And in order for us to activate our voice, collectively as a whole, we can make a difference. Collectively as a whole, our voices can make a difference. And so we all understand the power. So my mission is all helping people understand the power of their story. And also, as they understand the power of their story, one, they can help create impacts through their voices, but also help them write that narrative for the next. And so we as a people right now, there's a breach in terms of the injustices and everything that's been done to us. And I really compare it to on a micro level and a macro level. On a micro level, we go through trials and tribulations. And what do? Do we crash and do we sit down in the mess? No. We find the source of that power. We find the source of where that's causing that impact after we cry and we grieve, and then we develop strategies. The same thing on a macro level in terms of with my clients, with our community, how can we make a difference? What are we going to do? So not everyone is going to be a frontline person, but my goal is that everyone remains active, because really activates their voice, whether it's through their friends, whether it's through the social media or whatever it is. Let's have that same dialogue of change, but change towards strategies that can create a shift.
I like that because at the end of the day, we're all in this together.
Yes.
And when people ask me, why am I doing certain things? I said, because when I wake up in the morning and I look in the mirror, I see Tracy. When I wake up in the morning and I go out there, people see a Black woman. That's just facts, right? I don't get up and I say, oh, good morning, Black Tracy, right? I don't say that. But society says, hey, that's a Black woman before they see me.
Yes.
They identify me by the complexion of my skin. And as a mother of a 25-year-old Black son, and a 15-year-old Black daughter, that's not changing. They're going to wake up every day, their skin color. So if we don't activate our voices and do something to change what's going on in society right now, then what kind of legacy are we leaving for our kids? And I don't want my son leave the house. I live in Connecticut, guys. So everybody thinks that the North is immune from racism. Nothing could be farther from the truth.
Mm-hmm.
Here in Connecticut, it's more micro racism than overt racism, but you still have racism. You
Exactly.
see on the faces of people that you interact with every day. Sometimes they don't want to hear what's coming out of your mouth, right? They grin and bear. That's what they do. But I would prefer somebody be overt to me. I know how you feel, than you actually having these thoughts and feelings towards me, and you are, you know,
being fake.
right, you know. So, and then every time your son leaves the house or your child leaves the house, you are out there wondering, is he going to come back home?
Yes.
You know, like I was speaking to a Jewish friend of mine yesterday, because he was asking me, you know, like, how am I coping with what's going on? And, you know, what am I doing? You know, and what can he do to help the cause? So, and he does a lot of lobbying and that type of stuff. So I said, you know, I elevate my voice. That's one of the things I'm doing, like we're doing right now, elevating your voice, talking out, you know, posting, you know, doing whatever I can for the community, and the community try to help to better the situation. And he said something that really stood out to me. He was like, when a police pulls over someone or kills a Black man in like Alabama or somewhere down south, they're the worst police in the world. But when it happens here in Connecticut, we're the best state ever. So we don't really address the issues here. It doesn't elevate to the same level that it does if it happens down south. I don't know if we're keeping it undercover, or we're just not cognizant as a people. I don't know what's going on, but it happens here because now, since all of this is happening, we're seeing the reports of things that have been happening here in Connecticut that have never been addressed. And I was like, wow, I didn't even know that happened. So there's something going on. Like I said, there's microaggression and overt aggression happening in different areas, but racism is throughout the United States.
Yes. And also too, I mean, you'd be surprised, but in like in countries like Canada and London and all those places, there is racism, especially.
Oh, yes, I know.
And so, I mean, we've just lit the flame, and then now, I mean, first it was the pandemic, and now, and then the underlying pandemic that's been in our
souls for years.
It's now surfacing because it's enough. And the funny thing, it's our people who's been marginalized. We're the ones, because they've been marginalized because of that, the oppressive type of behaviors. That's why we are in this health crisis right now. It's all because of oppression and because of policies that's been placed to keep us as second-class citizens. And so I think now, it's like someone said, the straw broke the camel's back. And it's like, now enough is enough. Enough is enough. And it's just so powerful, talking about young people, to see how the young people now are taking the forefront. I think this is so powerful, and I think we need to provide the support, the encouragement, and the guidance. The guidance for them. I think we need, as leaders, to really help them with a strategy plan, because what happens is that we don't want them to say, okay, we try this and this fail and give up. Because we also know that there is, well, hopefully this will be a test of their resiliency, because we know also that's the group that their resilience is not that very strong either. You know, the high anxiety levels and all of that stuff. But we really want to really create strategic plans for them. And one of the strategic plans is, yes, we want to mobilize them to get on the streets, but we also want to mobilize them to understand where the power is. The power is in the vote. And so at this point, they need to have some serious voter campaigns. Imagine if every single one person who's out there votes. What a shift that will be. They'll have respect for our people. But because they know we don't make it to the polls, we just clang loud noise. So we really need to start translating that and helping them and mobilize them with some strategic direction.
Yeah, and I think a lot of that, you hit on something really important. It's miseducation, because for whatever reason, a lot of minority people think that their vote doesn't count because they don't understand how the voting system in the United States actually works. Your vote does count, okay? It really, really does. But there's this narrative being spread across the United States that even if you vote, your vote won't count to getting the president in or out of office, because everybody looks at the popular vote and they're like, oh, well, this person got the popular vote, but this person ended up being president. And that's because of the people who you put in. So the state votes are as important as the presidential vote. The
Yes.
people who you put in as senators, congressmen, your governor, your mayors, that is just as important, or even
Yes.
more important than who you're working for, who's
Yes.
going to be the president, because they're a reflection of who the commander-in-chief is.
Exactly.
So if you have all Republican, let's say, and I'm not going party, but if you have all Republicans and they have the same mindset as the president, then the voter college for that state is going to vote for that person. Right?
Exactly. Exactly.
So that's why you got to get out there and vote. You shouldn't even be voting party. I mean, I'm a registered Democrat, but I don't vote party. I vote policies that affect me and my community. That is what I vote.
And that's what they need to understand. And that's what education, the power of policies, you know, that whole education, because even, so there's been a conversation now. The conversation is about, we need to see a federal mandate around funds and allocation, a federal mandate around funds and allocation to the police force and all of that stuff. And these funds, these allocations need to be paired up with certain types of behaviors, you know. And because I remember when they tried to do that with the financial aid world, you know, it came from the feds, and we need to see X amount, I guess it was around defaults, student defaults and all that. So if you've taken X amount of classes, you know, you won't get, they'll cut your funding. But they'll cut your funding, but they don't realize is that the reason why people maybe go into defaults, or the reason why students may actually have to repeat classes, because of there's this bridge in education. A lot of our students come underprepared. You know, a lot of us, they're not prepared, you know, maybe for the rigor of college work, or they have to work 10 jobs, you know. And so who does it affect when there are policies against financial aid and all of that stuff? Our people. So they need to take they need to impose the same mandates in terms of what's going on in the police force, in terms of their funding.
Well, that's one of the things. I know that there's a move right now in Springfield, Massachusetts, to have the police officers individually take out liability insurance, so that when they do go out there and act a fool, the state or the county is not responsible for paying damages to family members. And you know that's not going to go over very well.
But Tracy, that's after the cause. We're trying to have them be proactive in terms of where the sources. If we have X amount of people who are, you know, who are police that are not complying, that decreases your funding. So that's going to be more of a proactive, and then make sure that we have policies, internal policies in place that can then make sure that we don't get in a situation like that. Because imagine if your money was being, because let's say because of your children or whatever, something, your money coming into your house was being affected by certain things, you would make sure your house is in order.
Yes, that is true. That is very, very, very true. Yeah, anytime people start messing with the money, things change. And I think, so a lot of people, like my brother put up a song yesterday on Facebook, and I was like, oh shoot, I forgot that Bob Marley song, the song, and I have it in my playlist.
Which one?
I'm Burning on a Luton.
Okay.
We are burning on a Luton tonight. You don't know the song?
Anyway. I gotta go listen.
I love the song, right? So
I gotta go listen to it.
And I was listening to it, and I was like, oh my God, this like needs to be the anthem for what's going on right now. Because he talked about like you know, waking up and being under curfew, and seeing people in uniforms that symbolize brutality, which is police officers. So it's like really, I mean, this song was made years and years ago, but it speaks to what is going on right now. And a lot of people are concerned about the burning and the looting right now. And that's just a byproduct of frustration.
It is.
Pressure cooker analogy. When you put a pressure cooker under too much pressure, and you don't have that relief valve set at the right level, what's going to happen? That pressure cooker is going to explode. And that is what's happening right now. You know, the only thing that I'm really and truly concerned about is that I see, again, micro aggressions within it that are not even coming from people who are affected, it's almost like the white supremacists are coming in and hijacking the movement and making it into something that it isn't. Because
Shifting it.
oh, why are we out there? We as Black people, I'm talking about, out there burning and looting and whatever. But if you really look at those videos, are we the ones actually doing it? No, we're not. You know?
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know. It's a lot.
And also too, one of the reasons why, I think for me, I really need to activate my voice because my children are watching, and we talked a little bit about how the revolution skipped our generation.
Yeah.
Because our grandparents were the ones our grandparents or great grandparents were the ones who were on the forefront. I mean, they were just shy of part of what Martin Luther King and civil rights movement and all of them. And so I think we became complacent, and eventually, the more complacent we became as a people, the more policies around injustice and everything just started, being added and added and added. And now it's the point where now, there are a generation where, they demand immediate action and they will do whatever it takes. But we, as the middle, the sandwich, I'm not sure if we're sandwich in between them, the people they look up to, they're looking up to us for support as well.
Yes.
They're looking to see, are you going to just be passive, mommy? Are you not going to say a thing? No. I think whether we may not be on the front lines, but I think that we also need to have that positive conversation, the conversation that encourages them, that conversation that gives them the guidance, the conversation so even when we talk to Auntie Sue next door or whatever, we don't talk about it. Oh, look at those people in the front line. No, we encourage. So we all need to be collective in our voices, whether we stand in the gap and pray or whatever it is. Not them against us. We're not dividing right now. These are your children. These are your grandchildren. These are your great grandchildren. And the thing about it too, I think what really fuels me right now is that we stand on the shoulders of giants like Rosa Parks and all those people. They had courage.
Yes.
They had courage to step.
They were willing to make sacrifices.
Are we then not?
That's one of the things we're not willing to do.
Are we just going to sit back and just be complacent and say, "Oh, this is a young person thing"? No, we have to help out. We have to set the tone for the future generation. And so, whether it's in our neighborhoods, whether it's in our churches, whatever, we need to be collective in one voice.
And that's one of the things. I haven't seen enough church leaders.
Yes,
I'm like, where are you?
Yeah.
Where are you? This is an issue that you need to address head on, not sideways, not coming from behind or underneath. Front. You need to be front and center. Where do you stand on this issue? How are you going to help to enact change in your community? Because you are a community leader. So,
and I think maybe one of the ways they can have it, yes, we understand COVID is around, and someone said about COVID, someone said, you know what, this issue, if this issue is not rectified, they can be dead in what 8 minutes, right? But with COVID, you could come back, come back in within 2 weeks, and it's still going to be there. So the need is greater. But what can be done is that yes, maybe the churches may not want to be in the front line, but they could have rallies where we could bring different speakers to really mobilize and educate those kids. The same way we have those health clinics right now, we need to have things right at this moment in time to really help them with a strategic plan, strategic direction.
Right. And not only that, to help us as the parents of these children to feel comfortable, to feel secure that when our children go out in the streets, that they're going to come back home to us alive. They're not going to die because a cop pulled them over and decided that your son or your daughter looked menacing because of their complexion and their build, and then kill your child. I've never been pulled over by a cop. Thank God. We knock on wood over here. I have never been pulled over by a cop. But let me tell you, and I don't do anything wrong. I'm like, what do you call it? That perfect citizen, right? Because I'm not trying to go to jail, right? But when I do drive and there's a cop behind me, I feel my stomach churn. I feel my heart rate increase just a little bit more, because I'm afraid that I will get pulled over, and I'm quick at the tongue, right? So I'm afraid I will get pulled over, like, what are you pulling me over for? Because I know I didn't do nothing wrong. And that alone, they find as threatening and then I don't make it home to my kid.
Yeah.
I don't want to live like that. I shouldn't be afraid of who's out here to protect and serve. So who are they protecting and serving if we're afraid of them?
Yeah.
Not us.
And as an influencer, I take my role very serious. You know, there are people out there who are looking for direction. There are people out there who are lost. You know, and I always tell people I'm not a preacher. My mission is to serve the people that are out there. And as we help people change the narrative and write the narrative and understand the power of the transformation that happens due to oppression and trials and tribulations, it's a matter of providing them with strategies. It's a matter of providing them with that support. It's a matter of scaffolding them through the transformation of the next. You know. So the question I leave on the table today is that, how are you activating your voice? There is something out there for everyone today. There's something out there in this movement for you to do. Whether it's to fry chicken and sell it to the kids on the sidelines, you know, to stand in the gap or have that positive conversation about it. That positive conversation and pray and start a prayer chain, start your midnight prayer service or whatever it is. But let's all be in one accord. Let's not create a divide.
Yeah, no decisiveness right now. We can't do with the decisiveness. I think decisiveness is what has been our issue for so many years. Right now, we need to stand as a united front and say we've had enough and we need change. We demand change to happen because your heart can only skip about so many beats before it stops.
And I think that's where, for me, even as we start the Summer Girls program, right now we're doing a boot camp. But we're looking to actually with COVID, a lot of individuals are not going into summer camps. So we're doing an online academy this summer, and it's understanding. The theme is understanding your beauty inside out. Understanding your beauty inside out, and especially for girls. I was looking to I've done both girls and boys in the DreamBig Academy, but this year, this season, we really want to focus on girls and give them that opportunity to understand there's a lot of dynamics and pressure that happens, as girls go through it, identifying who they are, in terms of their response to society, in terms of the development of their breasts and their bodies and their complexions and the hair, and their health. I mean, it's a lot to navigate, and it really impacts the self-esteem. There was a word, I forgot the word. I learned a word last year because I worked with a couple of girls from some inner city schools in Hartford. And I forgot the word right now. But I mean, it's the pressure. It's the pressure that comes on them. And so it's a matter of having conversations about who you are, really helping them develop the inner core, understanding not beauty, but their radiance, their sparkle, their shine. Because for beauty, I guess, beauty may have, you think you're all that or whatever. But tell me about your radiance. There's a radiance about you. There's a sparkle. There's a shine. So we also want to bring in women and experts as well in the field around health, social and emotional trauma. Bring in other women who've gone through, so they could talk to other women, talk about their careers, talk about just giving them a nice holistic approach about there's a shine about you. There's a radiance about you. And you know what? You are going to let that shine. And at the end of this project, we want them to develop a social media campaign. A social media campaign where their voices will be heard to really empower individuals, other girls around the world. They'll also get the chance to write and be part of a book compilation. We're going to take some of their stories and reflections. But also now the new twist is that I want to bring someone in to talk about what's going on and their role in this process. How do they fit in this whole process? Understanding their history, their power, their girl power, and how they can affect change in this world.
Okay. So that's really good. The feedback. Okay. Where's the feedback coming from? So is this only for girls in Connecticut, or is this open nationally?
It's open worldwide.
Okay.
I've got a couple of interests from Dubai already. It's open worldwide. And that's been always my focus. I think I have a global calling. I'm international anyway. And so it's open worldwide.
Mhm.
And it's because girls, no matter where they are, we go through the same struggles. Women, wherever we are, we go through the same struggles. I mean, some cultural places, women are more domesticated or in the house. But I mean, as a woman, I think we all go, and as girls, we all go through that whole identity. Basically, we're looking at girls between, I was going 12, but there's some girls who are 11 who are close to 12,
Mhm.
and their parents are asked
Yeah.
to be part of this group.
Mhm.
And so, what I'm going to do, I'm going to put them into subgroup cat, sub, the junior
Subcategories.
subcategories. It's early in the morning, Tracy.
I know.
And then I'm going to use so we're looking at 11 to 18, but I'm going
Uh-huh.
to use the older girls as peer leaders
Okay. Like
to,
mentors.
yes,
Mhm.
to
Mhm.
really help and empower those girls into leadership skills as well. So I'm really excited about that.
I am excited too. I think it's a really good program. So one of the things I want to address with the girls program, the DreamBig Academy, is that I hear a lot on social media, especially like, people who provide commentary around women's issue, that one of the things that is always talked about is that as Black women, we are too independent and we're too bossy. Is that something that you're going to be addressing in this academy? Because I think we're made to feel that we need to dim our lights, that we shouldn't be so vocal, we shouldn't be so outspoken, we should not be on the front lines. We're always taking care of other people, and or we always, well, when it comes to Black men, that we're putting them down and we're not supporting them, and that's why they're going over to women of other races, because we just want to be the man. So, and I think that's a conversation that probably needs to be had with girls from a younger age so that they can become comfortable in themselves. Because right now, I know, like, I follow a lot of people who do Black women commentary on YouTube, and that is a huge, huge issue that, they can't find a good Black man because all the good
Mm.
a bit dating white women. Black men are always putting down Black women because they're like, oh, you're too bossy, or you're too dark, or your hair is too kinky, or you know those things.
And I think that's an excellent topic, and there's always room for that conversation.
Mhm,
But one of the things I've learned to realize is that we are all interdependent on each other,
mhm,
and I think that's where respect comes in,
mhm,
and also understanding the role, even though that you've mastered a certain excellence in life.
mhm,
There's a role for your husband. There's a role for your partner,
mhm,
and understanding that in that regards. So whether
mhm,
even though you make more money than your husband, but understanding that he's your king
mhm.
and having that mindset creates a different tone.
Well, I
But
think a lot of women, because we are the most educated population in the United States, Black women, we are the most highly educated population in the United States. Like, we hold more
mhm,
PhDs than any other race.
mhm,
And I think that that education, and I'm not married, so I'm not speaking from a married standpoint. I'm
mhm, mhm,
single,
mhm.
I'm ready to mingle. Let's put that out there. So I'm not
Intimate.
speaking
Let's
as an
go.
expert
Come on,
out
intimate.
here on
Yeah,
this situation. I'm just speaking from what I see. You're the
right.
one trying to marry me off by December now. Hello.
Yeah. So listen, for all those listeners who are out there, yes, we will. We put it in the atmosphere, Tracy.
Oh God. Okay. Anyways, back to the subject.
But no, I think it's just a matter of understanding the roles we play in life. So
Mhm,
there's a difference between roles. It's like a show. We play different roles, and even though our character may be really strong in certain areas, but there's a role and a value for the next person who comes in a supporting role. And
mhm,
knowing that together as all actors in the show, it makes it a great performance. But if you feel that because of your who you are and you come in with this, and I think it comes with maturity too, and
mhm,
it comes with time. But you know what? It's a matter of understanding that, that we are all interdependent,
mhm.
because there are times when you do need a man. You do need a supportive partner, regardless of how much money you make, regardless of what type of position. and understanding the value that person. I think the key word there is value.
Value.
If I understand the value of the person who cleans our bathroom,
Mm-hmm.
I'll have respect for that person.
Yes. Yes.
So it's all about value. And so if you go there with a cocky attitude and you think that you're on top of the world,
Mm-hmm.
and all of y'all are little peasants behind me, yes, that will turn a man off. What? I'm sorry. It's too early in the morning.
Okay. But it's true though. I'm laughing because it's so true because I see it happen all the time. Like people get their master's degree or usually their PhD and they're like, I am Dr. Whomever.
But I
And
will tell you,
all of
Tracy,
you are peons in
no,
comparison to me.
no, I'll tell you, honestly, you talk to those women when they're home alone in the corner in their bedrooms when in the darkness.
Mm-hmm.
You talk to them and see the loneliness that goes within them, the yearning for companionship. I'm not saying that you cannot, you will. I mean, we're not saying that, you cannot. When I was single, I enjoyed my single life,
Okay.
and so,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you balance yourself off. But I mean, even though they may rant, for those who may rant and say, I don't need this, I don't need that, but it's also maybe a yearning for someone to maybe be a companion,
Mm-hmm.
you know, a companion to you or something like that.
Okay. I just had to ask because, I mean, since you're having this whole girls program, I just kind of wanted to know some of the issues that would be addressed because it seems, based on all of the talks that I've heard with women of various, backgrounds that are Black women, this seems to be a big, big topic in our society. The colorism, the featureism, and the educational component of it all, and who's making more money than whom seems to be because we are also, not only are we one of the most educated population, but based on the last statistics I wrote, we're also getting married at a way lesser rate than any other population, and we're not having kids either.
Mm-hmm. And that's by choice. It's all about exactly the value you put on certain things. If
Mm-hmm.
you value that, this is the time to do X, Y, and Z, and you need to push and you need to do your hustle, and that's why you see other cultures, it's all based on values. Other
Yeah.
cultures, they figured, I being home, staying, taking care of the kids is more important to me. So it's
Mm-hmm.
all based on your value system and what drives you,
Mm-hmm.
and at the end of the day, the key thing about it, you have to be centered in your spirit and know that you're making the right decision.
Okay.
You know?
So, what are the major components of this program so that people can go ahead and sign up their daughters, their nieces, their granddaughters?
So we're looking at the areas we're looking to address,
Mm-hmm.
discovering your radiance. We're looking
Mm-hmm.
at self-discovery activities, positive and healthy relationships.
Okay.
This is the time where a lot of our students, our daughters, are thinking about relationships or
Mm-hmm.
engaging or seeing their peers in relationships,
Right.
or there's an attraction from men
Mm-hmm.
or the same sex or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
So that's something. Emotions and self-esteem. Oh God, puberty, and I have girls, and it goes high and low, and understanding puberty, exactly. Embracing your bodies, puberty hygiene, girl health and wellness.
Mm-hmm.
My I was surprised to hear hair is a big topic.
Here is a big topic.
Because it defines their beauty.
Whether your lips are too big, your nose is too big, your hair is a 4C, or your hair is a 3B. It's a big deal.
Yeah, I know, right? Hair, food, body. Then we're looking at social media and marketing. We're looking at their story, because even one of the things, a lot of trauma that happens in youth.
Yes. Yes.
A lot of incest, a lot of rape, a lot of stuff happens when
Yes.
someone is young.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes they manifest because it's been repressed. And
Mm-hmm.
sometimes it manifests when they're an adult. And you're like, oh, wow, what happened? I felt abandoned. My grandfather touched me, or my husband, my my stepfather molested me.
Mm-hmm.
And they carry a lot.
Yes.
And
I,
so we want to create a safe environment too, where,
mhm.
because we also have therapists and staff, where we could help them understand the power of their story, understand that if there's a safe space they need someone to talk to, We want to provide that support as well, but also let them know that this is not a period, and they're not a less than.
Right.
They're not a less than, and this is not a period after their lives, and this is only a comma,
Yeah.
and then they can reshape the narrative for the rest of their lives. So we really want to provide strategies and scaffold them as they start designing the rest of their lives. So thinking about college, let's talk a little bit about college. What is college? Some of them may be going into high school. What are some of the things and challenges? So the nice thing, we also have some high school girls as well. So we really want to bring in a lot of speakers. So if you think that you're an expert in any of the following areas we've listed, connect with me as well. Right now, we're trying to put our list together and make our connections. So if you're an expert in any, and you have a story or something that you really want to share with young girls, reach out to me. You could connect with me also on my website as well, www.drjackiephillips.com, drjackiephillips.com. But also, though, to learn more about the girls program, we have the link as well there as well. So, and also we want them to give them the opportunity to become a co-author. I think that is so powerful, where their story will be heard, their thoughts, their inspiration, and for many adults to the opportunity to be in a published book. It's like, wow. So providing that opportunity, we really want to take their student leadership, help them social and emotional, and really help them also in, when we talk about academics, the academic component to this is that we really want to do a lot around literacy in terms of writing. They're going to be doing some research because everything that they're going to learn, I want them to go back and find some additional information, because what they're going to do, that then they're going to convert that into a presentation.
Okay. So how long is the program? How many days a week? How many hours? And how many weeks?
So we're looking at 6 weeks. We're actually looking to get started. I think we're looking to get started actually June 29th, which is soon, to August 7th. And it's going to be Monday to Thursday from 10 a.m. to 2:30 p.m.
Okay.
10 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. So we're looking to maybe do 2 hours of content and then a lunch or break in between.
Okay.
You know,
and
so
what is the cost of the program?
So the total cost of the program is very, very, very reasonable. It's $270.
Oh, that's cheap.
And then we're giving options in terms of payment. So you could either make a one-time payment of the $270, or you can make 2 payments of the $140, or you could make 7 payments of $45.
Okay. And for my podcast listeners, you can go to drjackiephillips.com/dreambig-summer-girls to register your child or pass the information along to someone else. So I know that you're going to a protest today. What do you want to leave, whether it's about the DreamBig Academy or what's currently going on in our society right now? What are 3 things that you want to leave the audience with, so to kind of motivate them to help to create impact?
Well, one, and it relates to both, that there is power in your voice. And we all, we cannot sit back in the darkness. And so we really need to activate our voice and understand the power of the collective voices. But also too, we cannot, our young girls are very important too. So over the summer, because it's going to continue over the summer, we also want to really we want this platform to be a platform where we could mobilize young girls, or teenage girls. I'm sorry, teenage girls. And we also want to activate their voices as well. And so this summer, we really want to activate the voices of teenage girls. So if you know a teenage girl between the ages of 11 to 18, and you may not have summer plans, or you have summer plans, and I think this is a better alternative right now. They'll be safe, they will be in their homes, and they'll be busy, because we're going to give them projects to do. And also we have our virtual campus, so where they can interact with their peers all during the day or night. So we really want them to be part of this opportunity.
Okay. So again, if you have a child a young lady between the ages of 11 and 18, and you're looking for something for them to do, and you don't want them to go back out to, because there are some regular summer camps that are opening this summer, unfortunately, but you don't want them to go out there and possibly mingle with other people who have been exposed to the COVID-19 virus. You want them to be safe, but you want them to be engaged. You just don't want them to sit on the couch and veg out in front of, TV or playing games. You want them to be empowered, to be educated, to be motivated into becoming the woman that they will be when they become adults. This is a program that you want to enroll your daughter.
Yes, I know.
Yeah, it's $270 is quite cheap for a 6-week program that is about 6 hours a day, 10 to 2, 11, 12, 1, 2, 4 hours, 4.5 hours a day. That's 4.5 hours a day that your child can be motivated and inspired and think and come and present differently within the community that they live in. So go on over to drjackiephillips.com /dream big, one word, dream big, /summer-girls to register your child today. She does have payment plans. And yeah, I think it's a wonderful opportunity for young girls to do something that is inspiring over the summer break.
Activate the voices.
Yeah. And they get to be a part of an anthology. Hey,
Yes.
by the end of your summer, your child would be a published author.
Yes.
So I think and it is not just open to people in the state of Connecticut. It is open nationwide, and it's also open internationally. So no matter where you are in this world, as long as you have an internet system, you can be a part of this program.
Definitely.
Yeah. Any last words?
Just want to remind people that in this season, the power of your voice, despite your story, despite where you are in your story right now, is a good time to really activate your voice. Really activate your voice, because there's power in this collective process right now, and your voice is needed.
Yes.
But it's just identifying exactly what you're saying.
Yes, definitely. All right, Dr. Jackie, thank you again for being a guest on Morning Tea.
Definitely.
I really appreciate you. I really hope that you get a lot of girls signing up for this program. I think it's an imperative program for us to have this summer. Great conversations that we'll be having, and I'll definitely be presenting.
Yes, definitely. Yes. A different topic too today.
Yeah.
Maybe we can bring them. Oh well, we'll see. We'll figure it out.
Okay.
You will be hearing from the girls. We want to create a podcast as well, so you'll be hearing from them. Give them that voice. Give them that opportunity to really develop and stretch themselves.
Yes. Yes. All right, everyone. Thank you again for joining me for Morning Tea today, and I will see you again tomorrow for another episode. Have a wonderful rest of your day.
Beautiful. Thank you.